What is the difference between an active fund versus passive fund? Hi friends, I'm Rushabh Shah, founder of Midas Finance, and today we are going to understand the distinguish between an active versus passive fund. An active fund is managed by a fund manager. The fund manager actively decides when to buy, what to buy, when to sell. On the other hand, a passive fund is a fund managed by an AI which tries to replicate an index. To understand this better, let's try to distinguish an active fund versus passive fund over three major points. Firstly, target. An active fund tries to beat the benchmark, whereas an passive fund tries to mimic or achieve same result as a benchmark. Expense ratio. Active fund have a higher expense ratio towards 1.5 to 2%, whereas a passive fund will have a lower expense ratio somewhere between 0.05 to 0.5%. The third point of differentiation is allocation. In an active fund, a fund manager can allocate funds deviating from that of a benchmark, which means he can buy more of large cap when he is bullish on large caps or more of small caps when he is bullish on small caps. Whereas a passive fund has to mirror a benchmark. So how do we understand active and passive in a normal way? To explain active and passive funds with a simple example, let's try to understand it today. You're going to go home and cook your own tomato basil soup. What are the chances that you will cook a good soup? And what are the chances that it's going to be a terrible one? The chances are equal. But let's say you're cooking a nor ready-made soup. The chances of your taste deviating are less likely. This is the same with active and passive funds. Active funds can always outperform, but at the same time there is a risk of underperformance. Whereas if you're somebody who doesn't like to take risk and are happy with index-like returns, then passive funds are for you. But if you want to beat the index and generate a higher rate of return, then active fund is what you should have in your portfolio. There is no right or wrong way to go about it. In fact, you can have a portfolio of both active funds and passive funds. To know more about mutual funds, please don't forget to like and subscribe.